Okay. Surprise. Just hopping on because I've been working on a video all week. Well, it's only Tuesday, I guess, for a few days. And I just wanted to get on and do it instead of uh, waiting to record it and uploading it and all of that stuff. So, our topic for this evening is two things to pay attention to that will rock your human design deconditioning process. Now, I think it's a little bit different on the Facebook recording than in the Facebook heading than it is in the YouTube heading, and I may change them after the fact, but that's what I want to talk about today. Two things to pay attention to that will rock your human design deconditioning process. So I've been thinking about this a lot because I've been working with a lot of you who are having a bit of a challenge, and me included, in this crazy world that we're in and all of the outside energies. And of course, if you're very open in your design, you're probably taking a lot in. And I wanted to bring us all back down to baseline as to the two basic things aside from strategy and authority. And if you're a human design enthusiast, you're probably already familiar with your strategy and authority. And if you're not, give me a shout out, and we'll go and I'll make sure that you get to where a place where you can get some resources to learn about it. So aside from your understanding your energy type, listening to or following your strategy and listening to your decision-making authority, there are two things that will really take your human design experiment to the next level while grounding you in your experiment so you can really fully decondition and come back to yourself. So I see that there are a couple people on, and if you want to chat in the comment box as to what you think it is, I'll give you a chance to do that. And I'm just going to tell you that when I am orienting my clients, and if you've worked with me, you know this, when I orient you to your chart, a lot of times, especially those of you who are generators and manifesting generators, even projectors as well, there's a bit of a challenge with really feeling into your strategy and your authority, especially your authority. And for generators and manifesting generators, you know, you have that sacral response that is your way of knowing yourself. And projectors and other people who have very, very open charts where you have open, undefined energy centers, the white ones, you're taking in a lot of outside energy, and sometimes you can't really hear or feel your authority, or you can't really work with it in a very deep way when you're first starting out, because there's so much noise moving through you. So I just want to bring it back down to baseline and tell you that if you're having trouble with your strategy or with your decision-making authority, with really feeling that out, if you begin to get in the habit of noticing what your mind is doing and what your body is doing, the two separate things, and even acknowledging it out loud, taking a moment to feel, you will notice that they're actually operating differently at times. So, you know, the mind, we think of the mind as the personality, the black side of the chart, the conscious side. We think of the body as the unconscious side of the chart. So there, in the system of human design, it's kind of like this, it's a binary, you know, we have black and white, red and black, body, mind. And what the system of human design is about, it's a mental system to help you understand or develop what's known as passenger consciousness, so that you can be the mind, or you can cultivate a mind that can observe the body as the body lives the life. So if you're feeling disconnected from your authority, it may be because you haven't quite distinguished what's body and what's mind. So let me give you an example. A lot of times, because I have a defined head and ajna, and I have the channel of abstraction, the 6447, defining all of this mental processing that's always going on. I if I get up in my head, um, a lot of times I lose track of my body. So there's no clarity there. There, especially for me with that channel of abstraction. So my practice, and I encourage all of you, if you're really wanting to get to understand what your body is telling you through your authority, how your body speaks to you as your authority, I want to encourage you to try this practice out and let me know how it goes for you. I'll sit very still. I'll find a moment, a quiet moment, especially when I'm aware that I'm kind of running around in confusion because that's how it works up here for me. I will find a quiet moment and take a few deep breaths. This is really simple. This isn't rocket science. And I'll sit with my body and my mind, and I'll pay attention to what my mind is doing. Now, you may be asking, well, how do you know what your mind is doing? Well, that's the realm of thoughts and words and sentences and all of that stuff, right? So I can sit now, because I've done this for quite a while, and I can witness the thoughts. Or if I can't witness the thoughts because they're just kind of rolling around, and they're not really cohesive or whatever, I can feel all of that mental activity. And then if I really tune in, I can feel where it's coming from. Like sometimes I'll even hold my head and feel like, sometimes it feels like the energy just shoots right out. Sometimes it feels like it's just really, just really frenetic. And then if I pay attention to that for long enough, I can shift my attention into my body and feel how my body is feeling. Now, here's a little clue. And Amy Elizabeth, welcome, generator with emotional authority. Yeah, you have to tell your mind to step aside so you can feel into your solar plexus. So, perfect example here. A lot of times what happens is that the body will follow what the mind is telling it, or at least that's my experience. And you let me know if that's your experience as well. Whether you're on now or you're listening later, I'd love to know. So if my thoughts are really frenetic, when I tune into my body, what I'll feel is that frenetic, nervous, anxious, heart beating, not calm kind of a feel in my body. So, and I know if you have an emotional authority like you, Amy Elizabeth, there is this need for you to feel into the nervousness in your body of your emotional wave, right? And you have that extra layer, that you, even though you're in your body, you're still going to have those emotional ups and downs. So it's so important for you to feel the difference between what's my mind doing, what are my thoughts doing, and how is my body feeling. For me, as someone who has a splenic authority, who doesn't have a defined emotional solar plexus, it's much more for me about getting to a place of calm inside my body, getting to a place where I'm not feeling that nervousness, that anxiousness, because that's not the nature of my spleen, right? And a lot of times what I have to do is really take that focus of what's going on in my head, like really focus on my thoughts in my head, and turn them in my imagination into energy that pulls back into my body so that I can bring my energy back down into my body. Um, and that will calm the body. So I encourage you to practice this, this part of tuning into the mind, and then feeling how that may be different from the body, or how the mind and your thoughts may be affecting your body. And then what you may find yourself doing over time is actually feeling into the or actually talking about, or especially if you have an authority where you need to talk, you may catch yourself going, well, the mind is doing this while the body is doing that. And that's a great habit to begin to get into, to identify out loud what you see that the mind is doing, what you see that your thoughts are doing, and what you feel that your body is doing. And I'll tell you another story here, because this is really interesting for those of you who are projectors and you're wondering about the whole waiting thing and how long you should wait. And this story is in process, so this is the story so far. At the beginning of the year, and even toward last year, I was even back 6 months ago, I was feeling into the possibility of having creating some kind of a group for those of you who follow me, who've been my clients and all of that. And I tried a few things. I'm a line 3. I have to experience and experiment, trial and error, few platforms, putting out feelers, all kinds of stuff with no attachment to it, really. But still, but my mind, I noticed my mind kept saying, you really should do a group. You really need to do a group. You really ought to get these people together. How would you do a group? If you did a group, what would it look like? What would you offer? All of those things that the mind, and I'm going to do this because sometimes it can drive you crazy, right? That the mind really wants to get caught up in. All of those mental gyrations. So meanwhile, I can catch the mind now. I know that that's what's going on. And so I take that regular time to go in and feel my body, I'm feeling for, how does my body feel about this? Is there any energy of recognition, of invitation that's directly coming into my body for my spleen, my splenic authority to respond to? And yeah, there have been some small invitations here and there, but my body was feeling like if my body had a voice, it would say, wait. And I've been waiting. And meanwhile, watching my mind do its thing. How would you create this? What would you do? Why don't you put out feelers on that? Why don't you try that? This person's doing that. All of those gyrations that keep me entertained, I guess. And my body's going, wait for it. Just relax, wait. And that's my mind kind of observing what my body's doing, and then verbalizing, wait for it. And I've been getting a series of invitations over the past few months that have put me among people where my energy field has shifted, where there is greater visibility and recognition. And, there are these things that just sort of popped up in the moment, these invitations that popped up in the moment, and my spleen spoke and I'm on it, right? So I'm still waiting, while in a meeting with a bunch of people the other day where it was a really good invitation. I accepted it. I'm in this group, and I got this confirmation totally unrelated to being in the group, even though I was in that energy when I got the confirmation. I got a message from someone that I was in in a group with, professionally involved with, a few years ago, and it was a straight on invitation for the kind of participation in a group uh, that I've been sort of dreaming about, visualizing, thinking about, but not acting upon, because my body just kept saying, wait, wait, wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. So that's how that works. It's like, as soon as I got the invitation, I knew that that was it, among other invitations that have been coming along. So this is why you want to begin to cultivate these, paying attention to these two different aspects of you, that what the mind is doing and what the body is doing, and bringing your voice and your awareness to that, especially if you need to talk things out and that's your part of your authority, bringing your verbal awareness to that and identifying out loud, my mind is doing this while my body is feeling that. So you may want to put that on an index card and carry it around. You may want to just tune into that in your meditation practice, or when you stop to take a break. Practice that. And if that's the only thing you do this year, aside from familiarizing yourself with your strategy and authority, that is going to take your deconditioning process to the next level, because you're really going to have the visceral feel in your body and the mental understanding on a very basic and practical level of what this chart is about. This chart, and learning about your chart, practicing your strategy, listening to your decision-making authority, is all about differentiating yourself from others. And part of that differentiation has to do with putting the mind in the observer's seat, cultivating that observer within, so that you can see what the thoughts are doing and what the body is doing, and that you can understand how they operate differently, so that you can really recognize how your body is communicating to you through your authority. So that's all I had to say. I just wanted to pop on and share it. Hi, Judy. Oh, yes, very exciting. Exciting to see you as well. Yeah, and Amy Elizabeth. Yeah. Oh, yes, my body feels different than my mind. I actually feel my solar plexus vibrating and pulsating in different places, in direct response to what's going on. Yes, and that's the beauty of it. I'm not in a personality design vehicle that has an emotional authority, that has a defined emotional solar plexus. So I can't even imagine what that's like, especially when you have a defined sacral center, and you've got that that you're trying to pay attention to, and then you've got the emotional wave as well. The problem, or the challenge, that a lot of sacral emotional generators, emotional manifesting generators have, when you first find out that you have to listen to this sacral response and follow it, and you have to wait for this up and down emotional wave. It's like, it's so much for your mind to take in, and the tendency, because this is a mental system, is to try to think about it. Try to think about, okay, well, what's my sacral doing? What's my, where am I in my wave? When really it's the cultivation of being centered in the body with an awareness about the two different aspects of you, and being able to observe that and ride with it. So if you're trying to figure all that out, you have you're an emotional generator or manifesting generator, or you have an emotional authority. What's my mind doing? What's my body doing? How's my body feeling? And that will cultivate the observer within you so that you can truly discern between the two. So we're at about almost 21 minutes. I've got something to do right after this, so I am going to go ahead and hop off of here. Thank you so much for hopping on. I never know who's going to show up. It's always a pleasant surprise. And thank you so much for following me, for being part of my community. Moving forward in 2021, probably a lot of my community is going to be over on YouTube versus Facebook, but I'll still continue to stream on both. But if you want to stay abreast of the action, come on over to YouTube, subscribe to my channel if you want to continue to follow me and get updates, and share these videos with anyone that you think would benefit. So there's more to come. Happy almost Human Design New Year. I think, when is that? Friday? Somebody with a calendar. I'm intending actually to come on for that and talk about that. Ooh, I don't know why you're hidden, so I'll keep you hidden. But hi, Swati. Good to see you. Welcome. And of course, there'll be a replay. So have a good evening or a good day or good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And thank you so much for being here with me. And remember, what's my mind doing? How does my body feel? My mind is doing this. My body feels like that. Walk around all year working on that, and you will know yourself very deeply. Generators, manifesting generators, and all the rest of us will have a better handle on our authority. So have a good night, and there's more to come.